There we go. You can see us now.
There we go.
If you're watching on YouTube, Instagram.
Welcome in, everybody. This is a busy place.
Oh,
First of all, can you hear us? A little louder. I can go a little louder. How about that?
We're working on it.
Perfect. All right. So for those of y'all that don't know, you have found yourself in the middle of a live podcast. I know many of y'all might not be soccer fans.
Just wandered up into it.
Many of y'all might not be soccer fans, but welcome to the Scarves and Spikes podcast. We're in Atlanta United, and lately, now that U.S. Soccer is calling Atlanta home, we are a U.S. Soccer podcast as well. So just wrapping up SheBelieves Cup. We're going to be having the show here. We're going to be watching the Atlanta United game. Sydney, one of our crew members, is running a little late.
I can't say that one more time. By the way, if you're watching online, let us know if you can hear us. If you're watching online, let us know if you can hear us. Maybe let us know in the chat. But I don't know if you can repeat that just one more time. I can't quite hear you.
Henry, our intern.
Oh, yeah.
Henry, our intern, is running a little late. So as soon as he walks in, we're going to give it to him.
He's on his way from Gwinnett County, Lawrenceville, I think. So he's on his way up. He'll be joining us in a little bit. Bruno says he can hear us on YouTube. Thanks, Bruno. What's up? Isaac says he can hear us. And this Tommy Moose guy, I don't know who he is. He says he can hear us. Tommy, by the way, is our co-host. For those new to the show.
As long as we're coming through, online and here, then we're all good.
But welcome in if you're watching online. If you're watching here live on the net, we are the Nest on 4th floor of the Signia by Hilton Hotel. And like Tyler said, we're just wrapping up the SheBelieves Cup. U.S. beating Japan 2-1. And Brazil, Canada, it was a really good match. 1-1, Canada scoring in the second half to level the match, and then winning in penalties 4-2.
Hold on. Can we give a round of applause for Henry?
Yes. Henry, thank you to everybody.
Henry showing up fashionably late.
Welcome in. Glad you can make it.
So as Henry gets set up, I know this is not a typical soccer crowd. Hopefully by the end of it, maybe you'll be a little bit of a soccer fan. Yeah. But that's our goal, is to convert people here. I'm still waiting on the USA chant to start off. I'm just saying.
There we go.
That's a spirit.
We'll get the rest of the room going here in a minute.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, Henry?
Sorry I was a bit fashionably late. I love the flag we have out here. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Was that here last time? It wasn't.
No, it was not. This is our brand new our table runner. It has our lovely faces on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's on the other side.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll look at it later, but it looks really cool from up here.
Yeah,
it's nice looking, isn't it?
All right, Henry, I know you weren't at the match, but did you see any of either match?
I did not. I wish I did, though, because I hear both of them were very, very good games. I saw your text saying that Canada won on penalties.
And then
I saw that USA came back and beat Japan 2-1, so that's really cool. Also cool to see the amount of people that turned up.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a record crowd for U.S. women's national team friendly. And I mean, the first time that they're back in Atlanta in a long time. So that's great. I mean, Atlanta is a soccer city, and this is how we're proving it.
Yeah, and not only that, it's the largest crowd, I believe, for a U.S. match, period, tournament, friendly, whatever, since the 1999 World Cup final. So that's pretty impressive. But over 50,000 right behind us at Mercedes-Benz Stadium for a soccer match. Not only that, a women's soccer match. Just you can tell with the players and coaches just how much they appreciated the turnout, just how much they fed off the crowd, the energy of the crowd, and all of that. But it's a great experience, great time out there. Not just watching the U.S. and Japan, but Canada and Brazil afterwards. So really good day at the Benz, really exciting day of soccer, and it continues tonight with Atlanta United and NYCFC at Citi Field. Not Yankee Stadium, but Citi Field.
I bet it's going to be a home run.
Get out, Henry.
Bye.
Drop the mic and leave. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. All right, we had the U.S. women's national team coming in. First time they've played in Atlanta since 2016.
Yes.
At the Georgia Dome, which we're kind of sitting on the skeleton of right now.
Standing like right on the footprint of the Georgia Dome.
Yeah, the remnants are right below us. So history-making day in the city of Atlanta for soccer, for the sport that we all love. If you didn't get a chance to go into the Benz to check it out, I'm so sorry you missed your opportunity. But Atlanta is now the home of U.S. soccer.
Yeah.
So there will be plenty more opportunities, and we hope to see y'all back out many, many, many more times. But
yeah, the brand new training facility is breaking ground this Monday. It's the first of its kind. I mean, the renders look amazing. It's going to be very big and really solidify Atlanta's position as the soccer capital of the United States. So it's a great time to be a soccer fan. It's a great time to be a soccer fan in Atlanta. So I'm looking forward to the next few years, and yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I love that this is not going to be the only big soccer event in Atlanta for a while. You got Copa America coming up in the summer. You have possibly the Club World Cup, FIFA Club World Cup next year. You have the World Cup, of course, the big one coming up in 2016. And then possibly 2017 Women's World Cup could be played here. Some of the matches could be played here, potentially a final. You never know. But that depends on if the joint bid between the U.S. and Mexico comes together. And there's a good chance it might. So we'll find out more about that soon. But this is not the end. This is just the beginning of, soccer really, really continuing this long arc of events, including U.S. soccer moving from Chicago to Southtown and Trilith. So pretty incredible. And I, for one, as a soccer fan, can't wait. I'm sure you guys can. I'm sure folks watching online can't as well.
Yeah. So let's talk about the atmosphere in the Benz. That was I think, one of the biggest things that we were curious about seeing, right? Like, we know what Atlanta United games look like. We know what other national team games look like. We've even seen teams from Liga MX come up here and have a phenomenal showing. And you get in there today, word came out that ticket sales were already breaking the record at 49,000. And then you end up with 50,644, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like that.
So you've broken the record, and in the first 30 seconds, Japan comes out and tries to just ruin the party.
We were talking in the press box. It felt like the Nations League semifinal between the U.S. and Jamaica. Jamaica scoring right at the beginning. U.S. ultimately won 3-1, but that was scary. A scary moment early on. And I was asking the U.S. coach at the press conference afterwards, is that something you really planned for, and how do you keep your head in that moment? She said, just that winning mentality. It's just that confidence they had in themselves, that even though they got off to such a slow start, they were still able to keep their heads about them, keep their wits about them, and ultimately win the match. It wasn't a pretty match, right? Any stretch of the imagination. And there's a caveat that, this is not the finished product for this team. They still have plenty of matches to go. They have the match on Tuesday against Canada, which we'll talk about a little bit later on probably. But they have that coming up. They have a lot of lead-up matches to the Olympics in the summer. So, this is a team that's still building. It's a young team, a lot of young faces, a lot of young talent, like Jaden Shaw, who we saw scoring a banger of a goal tonight. 5th goal in as many starts for the U.S. Her stars continue to rise. Trinity Rodman, Kat Macario to some extent. Lil Johannes, U.S. World player raised in the Netherlands that the Dutch are looking at, even though she doesn't have her passport. But that's another young player, another young face that's on that roster. So I'm excited. I know U.S. fans are excited for what's next for this program. It's been a little bit of a downswing, last year with the World Cup, the previous Olympics, but hopefully they can get things back together. And today was a really good start.
Yeah, 100%. And, it's one of those moments where you open up the match, you haven't had your morning coffee yet, Japan catches you sleeping, it's 1-0, and it's like, dang, this is not how we wanted to start this renaissance in Atlanta. But I mean, I think for most of the match, right, you were looking at a U.S. team that they were strong. They were creating opportunities. They didn't let that first goal get in their head.
Right.
They immediately bounced back. They were the better team, and as the game progressed, it got to the point to where Japan's trying to play out of the back, and they're creating more turnovers on themselves by trying to play out of the back than they were actually having success. You have the U.S. pressing. They were doing the job. They had everything but the final product. And then, Jaden Shaw comes in with an absolute banger. And then you think, all right, cool. Like, you're back in it. We're back at even ground. And then Lindsey Horan with the penalty. Sophia Smith won the penalty.
Yeah.
And you come out with a 2-1 win. But I think one of the things that really stood out to me was in the post-match press conference, Twyla saying that, we asked about Emily Sonnet. Emily, hometown hero from Marietta, Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Cobb County.
But Emily, she comes out and she gets an absolute standing ovation. At the end, Twyla says, it wasn't just for her. This place felt like home for all of us, which is such a big deal, right? This is it. This is it for U.S. Soccer. You're here now for a long time. And I think this was a really good showing of what U.S. Soccer can look like in Atlanta.
Yeah. Like I said, it's only the start, It's only up from here. Men will be seeing them in the Copa America this summer. Argentina going to have the opening match. So Lionel Messi presumably will be part of that. I assume Grass will be down, so that's one checkbox. But presumably he'll be here. And again, just that long arc of events or soccer-related things are happening in Atlanta, including, like we said, the U.S. Soccer headquarters and National Training Center. And that can't be understated. The National Training Center is something that the U.S. hasn't had. You look at England, countries like that, they have that. The U.S. hasn't had it. That's not just, they're mentioning on the training ground a few days ago, that's not just for the U.S. women's team and the men's team. That's for everybody in the U.S. soccer system. And that's incredible. All of this talent coming to Atlanta, Georgia, or the Atlanta, Georgia metropolitan area, and making use of this National Training Center. It's incredible. It can't be understated how much it means, not just to soccer in the United States, but really to the Atlanta area and how it relates.
And something else that tells you that training center, it's big, it's a massive investment. You're getting a lot of real estate there. You don't make that kind of investment unless you are planning to stay here for a long time. Yeah. So the plan is for Atlanta to be a long-term, kind of the center of all things soccer for the U.S. National teams, and that's exciting. Having them here, right? So yeah, it's awesome, and we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
What did y'all think of the grass?
I think it looked good. I mean, we've never seen grass in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, so it's kind of a test for.
Well, we had it at the Premier League last year.
Yeah, we had it for the Premier League.
Yeah. I mean, no, it looked good. I should say it's my first time seeing grass live in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and from my vantage point, it looked good. But those matches that you were just talking about, Premier League, and today, it's kind of a dress rehearsal for when they have to do it on a little more long-term basis when the World Cup gets here in 2026. It'll be a little bit tricky to how the grass will grow and all the science involved in that. I mean, you obviously can't leave the roof open 24/7, but yeah, I mean,
especially not now with all the pollen.
Right, exactly.
Oh, God, no.
Exactly. But yeah, it looked really good, and I feel like this is just me talking. I feel like after 2026, I think we'll see more and more stadiums in MLS move to grass. I think we see Mercedes-Benz probably move to grass. I think we see Gillette up in Foxborough, another World Cup host, move to grass. Lumen Field, Arrowhead, same thing.
Yep.
I think you see that permanent shift. So that's just me talking again. I don't have any inside knowledge either way, but it could be.
So, it was really neat because the grass, I know it was grown regionally, so you can get into the discussion of, it's creating jobs here. I don't know what company it is. I don't know exactly where it's grown at, but the fact that you've got U.S. Soccer, AMBSE, Arthur Blank going out of their way to make sure they get the highest quality, grass, pitch, whatever. Here, I mean, they're going to spend the money. They're going to spend the money. No, you're not concerned about that. But I will say, and I don't know if it was the same company, but I feel like the grass that was there today looked better, at least from afar, than the grass they had in the summer for the Premier League matches.
Just from the pictures, I think so too. It kind of just looked much greener. I mean, the Premier League grass, it was fine, but I think towards the end of that night, you started seeing kind of like some brownish patches, some like, you already saw it starting to get roughed up. I can't talk about this one because I didn't see a whole lot of it. I just saw some of the pictures on Twitter and stuff like that, but it looked just like much greener, and I don't think I saw anyone complaining about it on social media, so.
Really?
Were people complaining?
No. I'm just like, that's a miracle that you didn't see anybody complaining about something on social media. Now it's going to pop up in our chat, guaranteed.
I'll be on the lookout. But yeah, great day. U.S. winning, so that's a plus. And then the second of the semifinals, Brazil, Canada. Brazil, a world power in soccer. Canada, maybe not so much, but still on the come up in a big way. 1-0 at the break, 1-0 at halftime for Brazil. Canada maybe took a little bit to get into it than they would have liked, but their keeper Sheridan kept them in it, and eventually they do get a headed goal in the second half to make it 1-1. They see it out to penalties, and they win a penalties to get their keeper make a big save early on the penalty shootout, and they win 4-2. So they'll play the United States. So we'll get an all-CONCACAF SheBelieves final on Tuesday, and Tommy will be there. Tommy will be there covering the match for the Scarves and Spikes. But we'll get an all-CONCACAF final, and then Japan, Brazil playing that third place match. So, yeah, really good day of soccer at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Do we actually have any Canada fans in here? Did anybody make the trip from Canada? I don't see any. No Canada fans.
Doesn't look like it.
All right, that's okay. I thought Canada got lucky, if I'm being honest.
Ooh.
I know. You see how I had to check and make sure there were no Canada fans. I didn't want to get attacked by anybody.
They didn't have their A game.
Yeah,
the A game. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Look,
I'm here all week.
Brazil was always going to be a tough match, right? This was always going to be tough. And Twyla said in the post-match press conference, I think she kind of implied that she wanted to play Brazil, actually. But I think that's more of a we want to play the best kind of mindset.
Yeah. I mean, she'll have no complaints over Canada, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, one thing that we haven't talked about, so Tuesday will be the 5th Olympic team in a row that they'll have played. And they've talked about that. They talked about, they haven't had the opportunity to go back to back with Olympic teams, and that'll just make them better and stronger. So, like I said, I don't think she'll have any complaints. That's just as long as her team wins and just continues to put those building blocks in place for Emma Hayes, the permanent head coach, is coming in next month and will lead the program. So,
in this match, I thought it was interesting because I just watched this match, the Canada-Brazil match, more of like from a fan perspective. But Canada, they looked shaky at times, but they also, when they had opportunities, they weren't far, right? They had a header in the first half that was taken off the woodwork. Second half, you have a really good shot that's taken off the woodwork, and then it's a free kick. It's a header.
Yeah.
You're tied 1-1. Yeah. And then Brazil just can't put their chances away. And then you go to penalties, and of all people, it's Marta that misses a penalty.
Yeah.
Really? Yes.
No way.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. It was a good penalty shootout, to be fair. I mean,
she had to take the Marta?
She did not take the Marta. Sorry. Big fans of public transit here, in case you don't know. But no, I mean, I think obviously it's going to be a good match. For the final, you got U.S. Canada, but that Brazil-Japan matchup, I think, is going to be really interesting to see if you're a tactics nerd.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be really, really fun to watch.
I agree. Yeah, there's not a bad match in the bunch, really. Like I said, 2 really good matches, 4 good teams, 4 really good teams, formidable teams. I think for the U.S., again, this is a good start for them as they continue to try to get this program back to where it was at the top, right? This was the leading program in the country, leading women's team in the world, I should say. And that's kind of slipped over the past few years, and they're trying to get back to that point. So today was a good start, and hopefully more to come for them with the new head coach coming in.
So I've got a random question because this is something that I don't follow. I don't know if you do, Henry. But who is winning the Final Four?
I think UConn.
UConn?
I think UConn.
Okay. I mean, that sounds good to me.
I have no idea. I don't really follow college basketball unless my Kennesaw State Owls are in there. So, yeah.
Go KSU.
Yeah.
Who do you hoot?
So David was asking, why are we standing up? Is somebody beefing? And no one's beefing, David. We're beefing with you because you're not here. That's why we're beefing with you.
We're trying to strategically draw attention to us up here for all these people out in the audience to see us and listen to us talk about soccer for the next 45 minutes.
David, I'm just kidding. We love you. Thanks for watching.
But no, it's a good crowd here. It's a really good crowd here. I don't know what conference is going on or which
cardiologist conference, I think.
I saw a cardiologist, which is a good group of people to have, for sure.
We can pretend they're all here for the show, right?
They're all here for the show. I don't know what you're talking about. Of course they're all here for the show.
Yeah.
Right? They're all just big fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I see some USA back here. I see some red. I see a lot of navy blue suits. That's a US color too.
Mm-hmm.
Woo.
Yeah, you guys want to talk about lineups?
Yep, let's do it. It is Atlanta United time.
Atlanta United mode. So I don't know what's on the screen. I think it was just a
first at bat is Guzan. Sorry, not baseball. We're soccer. I'm so sorry.
Josh Cohen starting. Oh my god!
Bring me some peanuts and crackers.
Henry. By the way, Bruno, our good friend Bruno says he is in Bogota right now. So any hints? Any tips? Places to go in Bogota?
Bruno, that is really cool that you're in Bogota. Unfortunately, I haven't been to Bogota. I've been to Medellin, so I couldn't tell you about places to go in Bogota. But if you go to Medellin, which is 1,000% cooler than Bogota, I'll let you know. All right?
Hey, next time. Hey, you might be headed to Medellin. You never know.
You should, man.
Go to Adolfo's comment because I have to explain myself.
Yeah, Adolfo saying, why do we wear jerseys on the weekday streams but not today? Well, Henry has one.
Yeah, Henry came prepared. I didn't because I forgot it at home. Like I forgot about 2 or 3 other things at home.
Also, I was in the press box and team gear is frowned upon up there. So
yeah,
I should have brought it.
I was going to put it in my bag and throw it on here, but I failed miserably and left it at home.
You get thrown out the window if you wear team gear in the press box. So, anyway, lineups.
So the big news, obviously, Gigi unavailable and Shande Silva unavailable. We knew TR Ray would be starting in place of Gigi, and that's the case. But Tyler Wolf getting the start. Instead of presumably Mascara. So that probably gives credence to Atlanta maybe seeing Mascara as a super sub of some sort, or as a player who can come in and just run teams ragged on his side of the pitch, and it looks like that'll be the case today. But Tyler Wolf getting the start in place of Shande Silva. Everything else is the same. Preferred 11, of course. Gregerson continues to be out for a few weeks longer. Bill Cobb going to start once more. Not really surprising, but yeah. What do you guys think?
I don't think Wolf being the starter ahead of Mascara is much of a surprise. I mean, Pineda's already favored him in that Toronto game, so I think that's going to continue. Tyler Wolf, I think, is just the type of player that will get in the right spaces, and you can count on him to make those back post runs, to just be there for those easy tap-ins.
Right spot, right time.
Yeah, to just get in those areas and help you in those moments in build-up. So I think him being there is perfectly fine to me. And then, Mascara as a super sub, I mean, he scored, 4 or 5 goals last season in that role. I don't think Pineda necessarily wants to jeopardize that in him. If he's doing well in that role, well, don't take him out of it. Don't fix what's not broken, Yep. And either way, I think Mascara's speed will give you an advantage when you bring him on against tired legs in the second half. Yeah. He can help kind of unbalance the defense, and he'll help you get behind a lot better. Even though the pitch is a little smaller, right, than other pitches. A little is a lie. It's way smaller.
How much are you wanting to exaggerate here?
It's probably as big as this menu right here.
Yeah. But live look at Citi Field.
Right. That's a two scale version of Citi Field.
But either way, I think his ability to cover ground that much quicker, even if it's a little bit of ground, is going to help this team a lot. And he also has, great skill. So I think that's going to be very valuable to getting in behind and just helping the team create up front. Now, my prediction in the week show on Wednesday was 2-0. And that was when I assumed that Giakoumakis and Sean De Silva were going to be starting. I'm having to really think. I'm having to really think here. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with 2-0. 2-0 win. Because I think there are goals in this game. New York City FC is without Mijatovic, one of their young defenders that they brought. They're without Tyus Magno. They're without Maxi Morales. So they're without several important pieces. And I think this Atlanta side is capable of getting the results against this team. You still have Almaty. You still have Slish. You have still the fundamentals of your midfield, right? This is your chance to go out there and get the win because you're missing, your starting striker. You have TRA, who now can score.
Just tell him it's his birthday again.
Yeah, tell him we celebrate birthdays this week and then the next week, right? Yeah. And you'll
Every
be good
day
to
he
go.
plays, it's TRA's birthday.
Exactly. So I still have faith that this team can find goals and get the win on the road.
I like it. You know what's not a surprise?
What?
Noah Cobb starting.
I know.
Yes, sir.
Right.
I know.
Noah Cobb locked in as a starter until Stian Gregerson comes back.
Sure looks like it, doesn't it?
I think so. And, I mean, why not? He hasn't really put a foot wrong. He's had a couple of mistakes. Who doesn't? Especially for his age. I feel like his mistakes are where they need to be. And I feel like he's not making as many of them as he probably should be.
Yeah.
So I like it. I like seeing Noah Cobb back there. I think Wolf, to me, was the obvious choice in place of Sean De Silva. But ultimately, I mean, I got to agree. I wasn't on our normal show, so I didn't get to do my prediction. I actually was going to say 2-0 as well.
I think great minds think alike.
Yeah, that's right. And this is going to be Atlanta's first road win of the season, I think. I know. Knock on wood.
By the way,
I like it. About
Noah Cobb, one of the things I really like about him is that he just knows when you have to kick the ball out. Because he's done that. He clears the ball. Like, there are times when they just don't clear the ball, and that's where you have the stupid turnovers that turn into chances for the other side. And so that I know it frustrates me. I know it frustrates you in the press box. Yeah. I see your face.
I know. Thank God we have a room full of cardiologists in here that can save me if I have an issue with the way things go tonight.
Thankfully. But, that's what I like about Cobb. And like you said, he isn't perfect. He's still young. He's going to make mistakes. But he more than makes up for them. And just kind of his focus, the way he's locked in and he's able to intervene in key moments. I think he did very well in the last game against Chicago. Got a couple really good clearances. Just knew what he had to do. No nonsense. Got the job done. I have full faith that he can do it again tonight in New York City.
Yeah. We got called out by David. He said the man that's unavailable is called Yako or Tank. Gigi is a girl corgi and Buckhead. David, to our credit, Pineda calls him Gigi, and when I asked
everyone calls him Gigi, David.
When I asked Almada about Yako or Yogos, he had to ask Justin to say, "Hey, who is this guy?" Justin told him Gigi.
It didn't translate.
Everyone calls him Gigi. We'll call him Gigi. I mean, you could call him Yako or Tank. That is totally up to you, my friend.
Call him Golden Boot winner.
There you go. Call him Golden Boot winner. got some predictions coming in. Epic Space Orange says it's most likely 1-1. Alan, our good friend Alan, saying 2-1 Atlanta. Jack taking a little more down. Glass half empty view saying 2-0 NYCFC. Unfortunately, we have Gigi or Yako or Tank. Whoever.
No, Jack, you're normally my guy.
Sunday. Tyler obviously disagrees with that take.
Oh, he's my sunshine pumper.
Yeah.
Got to stay optimistic with me.
Jack, watching from the UK as always. Yeah. It's like midnight right now, the UK, as he's watching. So cheers, Jack, as always. What else?
So, I feel like it's been such a weird week. We had U.S. soccer. We had the women's national team playing. It's been back and forth between club soccer and national team soccer this week.
Yeah.
I think for this match for Atlanta United, you piggyback off of what you did last week. You piggyback off of the success you've had at home. We all know, and we all say it, you have to win your matches at home. Atlanta's doing that, and they're doing it pretty well. But the good teams, the teams that separate themselves, they win away. This is a golden opportunity for you to not only get a result, but you go up here and you need to win this match. You need to win this match. There are so many variables and factors going into this one. If you're Atlanta United, there's really not an excuse. I understand you don't have Yorgos playing. Jamal Tiari can score goals. Tyler Wolff, if you say a bad thing about Tyler Wolff, I'm going to drop kick somebody. Because the guy, he's in the right place.
I want to see you drop kick someone.
Somebody say something bad. No, I think he proved that he has the capability to just, like you said earlier, be in the right place at the right time. He does the fundamentals right? Like he plays soccer at the level that he needs to be playing it at because he's constantly putting himself in dangerous places. And that's what you want out of a winger. Any of your attackers need to be doing that. And we don't always see that. But I think Wolff has proven himself, and I think he'll come out and have a good game.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the fact of the matter is you need to win your road games because one doesn't, if you win your home games, great, but one doesn't live on that alone. If you're one of the better teams and you want to show that you are a legit contender, you got to go out there and win on the road. And they don't get much easier than this. NYCFC is in terrible form right now. This is your chance to get the easiest 3 points on the road that you're probably going to get all season. Your road games don't get much easier. You got to then play most of the top teams right now. You got to go to Miami, to Cincinnati, to Philadelphia, to all these teams up there. Then your West Coast away games aren't much easier. You got St. Louis, who is still a pretty good team after a crazy season last year. The Galaxy, who are undefeated and have El Tráfico later tonight and have probably their best team in quite a few years, right? You have to take your chances. You have to take the points where you can get them on the road. And that's why these points are so important. So they need to go out there and get their points today and hit as many home runs as possible, right? Because they're on a baseball field.
No ground outs.
I promise I won't strike out with these baseball puns.
I'm so glad we have young Tommy here doing the
baseball
job.
Jokes tonight,
someone had to do his job.
The three of us collectively have as many goals as Atlanta United does away from that beautiful building behind us. Look, you gotta start somewhere, right? And this team, all just aside, they haven't scored away from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and with Yakimakis, Gigi, whoever we're calling them, those. Sorry, David. Those chances maybe go down a lot, but. I know we're talking about Jamal. I know what he did last week. I think it's important. I'm not saying you guys aren't. This is not to you guys, but maybe if he doesn't have the best game, I think it's important for fans not to get carried away by saying, "Oh my gosh, he's a flash in the pan." I would love him to score a brace again tonight. I would honestly love that.
Me too.
Yeah. No, but I don't think. I think fans shouldn't be disappointed if it happens. I mean, you have other players that can score. Granted, Shande is injured, unfortunately, but Wolff, we just talked about, Wolff kind of has that I joked around about it a few months ago. He's a tap-in merchant, but no, he has that poacher's mentality in the box. Like you said, Tyler, right place, right time, and he can score. Almada, of course, can score. Saba, I mean, you don't look at the score as much. He's more of that playmaker, but he can score as well. Lennon, he can score. When you get Lennon, you get the ball inside. I mean, he's your playmaker as well on that right side. But if he's able to make that connection with Jamal, he can make things happen. Wiley, he can score. So, you're not depending all on Jamal to put the ball in the net. Obviously, he's your striker. He's coming off a brace. But at the same time, if he doesn't, I mean, it's not like you're completely bereft of options to score. I mean, of course, what's your number one striker out there, but I don't think anyone should be writing this off as a loss just because your possible Golden Boot winner is out tonight.
I mean, look, you're never expecting your backup striker to be a world beater necessarily. You're just expecting him to be there
Unless
to fill the
Man
gap.
City.
Yeah, I guess. But still, I mean, in a salary cap league where you're trying to be realistic here, you're not expecting your backup to be the 20 goals guy, right? You're just expecting him to be there to fill the gap at times where the world beater isn't there to do it, right? And Jamal has the capability. I mean, we saw his finishing last week. We saw his ability to get in the air. He is a tall guy. Like, he is freaking massive. Yep. And the best part of all is that we saw him develop the connection with Brooks Lennon that Gigi has, right? Mm-hmm. With that first goal that he scored, it was a header at the back post.
And it was a dime.
Yeah. And Lennon is still going to be there to play those balls. So as long as you have him, Jamal, identifying the moments to make the runs to the back post and being there to finish, I think you're going to be in a good spot. That being said, I really I know we're predicting a win here, and we're trying to be positive. But at the very least, I just don't want this team to be shut out by New York City, right? Because if you get shut out by this team on the road, I don't know what to tell you. Because, like I said, it doesn't get much easier. And you got to start scoring on the road to give yourself a chance.
To their credit, and not to throw water on what you're saying, to their credit, NYC have been a pretty decent defensive team this year. Freeze has had back-to-back pretty strong performances. They gave up a goal in each, and they lost, or they lost to Cincinnati. They drew Miami. But he had pretty solid performances, I think 5 saves in each of those games. So defensively, in net, they've done pretty well. Now, how do you challenge that? How do you break that down? And again, it's a little bit more difficult with Yakimakis out. But at the same time, again, if you can get your chances, if you can get Lennon working on the right side with TRA, you get Saba involved, you can get Almada involved, you can get Wiley involved. If those things are clicking, you might be able to put 1 or 2 past NYC, past Freeze. But again, Atlanta's defense as well, it's been really solid. I'm giving up, just 1 goal this year? So,
yeah,
look, don't discount that either.
I mean, yeah, but even with Yako and Shande Silva out, I think you have enough talent to go and beat these guys. I mean, you still have Almada, who is kind of the soul of the team's chance creation. You have your full midfield, which has been a problem, but it's a midfield that can help kind of bridge some of the gaps between, your what you're missing in defense with Stian and what you're missing offensively and getting out of the back from Shande. Now, one quick thing I wanted to note is that on the bench, you don't have another striker because Danny Rios is still out. So, I mean, you still have a Brown, Brennan, Josh Cohen, your goalkeeper.
You got Firmino.
Etienne, Firmino, Fortune, Hernandez, McCarty, and Mascara. So either TRA is staying on for, the whole 90, or he might be coming off, and you might see them kind of switching to a sort of a false 9 maybe, perhaps with Firmino up there. That's entirely a possibility. I hope that by the time it comes to that, they are winning so that you can more focus on a defensive posture. I'd feel much more comfortable with that. But either way, I think, this team, you just can't concede in the opening minutes. You got to strike first. You got to make your presence felt, right? You got to make the other team respect you. Even if it's not here in this building, you got to make them respect you.
I want to, real quick, I want to show you guys something, and folks online will be able to see it. But our good friend Jason Longshore, he was calling the first half of the She Believes doubleheader with Jessica Charbon. And then right after that, they had to leave for their respective MLS matches. And Mike Conti tweeted out a video of Jason's plane from Atlanta landing at LaGuardia Airport,
No way.
about 10, 15 minutes away from Citi Field.
He caught him in 4K.
Yeah.
Throwing the parachute down.
Apparently. So,
Like a paratrooper into
yeah,
Citi Field.
exactly.
That'd be fun to watch.
So Longshore Watch was on, and I'm assuming he made it because it's like 20 or 30 minutes till kickoff.
He was supposed to land, and let me make sure I'm not giving away any business stuff.
Might be
He
for 7.
was supposed to have landed 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. No, but he tweeted out earlier his plane was a little bit early, so
Yeah.
I think he landed right before 7. He has to get out. I mean, he doesn't have, I don't think he has any like check baggage or anything like that, so he'll be able to pretty much hop off the plane, get to the CAG, get to the stadium. Chris Winkler, Director of Communications for Atlanta United, is going to facilitate his credential. He's going to make his way up there and call the match with Mike on 9 tonight. Busy day for him. And Jess. She's in Charlotte on commentary for Charlotte FC against the New England Revolution.
Guys, before we go any further, I just want to say hi to all the soccer fans that have joined us up front here. Hey, guys. Thanks for joining us, soccer fans.
We'll get another USA chant going on if y'all want
Yes.
Did y'all enjoy the games? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great game.
So I'm talking
to.
about.
I like your Gio Reyna
Yeah, I was
jersey.
going to say that.
Gio's the man. Who do you got? Sophia Smith. That's a
There
good
you
shout.
go.
Class.
She's a killer on my EAFC my team. But no, for real. Sophia, we actually got to talk to her at the end of the match, and she had nothing but great things to say about the Benz. Are y'all from here? Oh,
DC.
Oh, very nice.
You're not DC.
Very
United
nice.
fan, sorry.
Awesome.
Okay. There you go.
Washington Spirit. Are y'all from here? Los Angeles.
No way.
Whoa,
Oh,
y'all
God.
really?
Charlotte. Okay.
All right.
Are y'all Charlotte FC fans? Are Charlotte FC fans or no?
Charlotte FC
Charlotte
fans?
FC? Nice.
All right, we'll allow it. What about y'all? Are y'all LAFC or LA Galaxy? Okay, hey,
Gotcha.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Well, thanks for coming out, y'all. It's
Yeah.
great to have you guys here.
We appreciate y'all.
And then, so I didn't hear y'all DC United fans too, or just all right. We'll
Washington
allow
Spirit.
it.
Oh, I don't.
Go in hostile territory for the
Yeah.
club talk anyway. But no,
Y'all.
how was the Benz? Was this the first time? Y'all liked it? It really is a special place. I know we're biased, but it's always cool to hear people coming from outside that say, this is really a stand-up place. So.
Tyler, I feel like we sometimes take it for granted because we're in this stadium kind of almost every week, and we see these things. I feel like we kind of take it for granted sometimes, but it really is a really cool stadium. And I've seen some people on Twitter who this was their first time in the stadium, and it's truly a magnificent. Like, I wish I could have my first time walking into the stadium again.
Yep.
Because it was awesome.
And y'all were part of a record-setting crowd today.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
Yep.
Y'all made history.
Yes,
Yep.
made history. Super exciting.
Y'all come back for the World Cup too. 2
Yeah.
years.
Start saving now.
Exactly. Save now.
So I gotta throw this out there because I think we're at the point now where we're going to jump back and forth between U.S. talk and Atlanta talk and whatever we want to talk about. But we've gone through this whole show so far, and we've mentioned him a couple of times, but I think it's kind of crazy. We're having all this talk about goal scorers, and we've barely mentioned, really, the way we normally do, Thiago Almada.
Yeah.
We haven't really mentioned him a ton, and it's,
Crickets.
Huh?
Crickets.
He
He has just one goal. And I mean, in what are we at, 5 games already?
Yeah.
Your most talented player.
6? I don't know.
5. Well, 5. This is going to be your 6.
Yeah, okay.
And him only having one
I'm not
goal, no
mathing.
assists, I don't think. I mean, I think he has a hockey assist, but just one goal. I mean, it's kind of shocking production from someone who, at this point last season, was probably, I think, your top producer at that point.
To be fair, in this last match at home, he didn't get credited with much, but he did a lot of work. This past match was his best game.
Yeah.
But yeah, you expect the numbers from your number 10. You expect the goals, the assists, the hockey assists. You expect, him to be involved. And I feel like he was involved in this last match.
Yeah.
It just didn't necessarily show on the, the numbers test, but it showed on the eye test.
And to be fair, he's been very, very close on some times to just scoring goals, right? He'll take shots and they'll rattle the post, or they'll be saved, or they'll just barely go wide. And so he's getting there. And he also, his passing has been phenomenal. I agree with you. I think the Chicago game was his best game of the season so far, because he was, significantly less selfish on the ball than in the Orlando game and in the New England game, where he was just kind of trying to do too much when he had the ball, trying to just dribble and show that he's the best player in the league. When really sometimes in order to show that you're the best player, the best play sometimes is just simple. It's just making the pass. It's just looking for the teammate that is wide open and has a better shot at getting in. And I think he really understood that going into this Chicago game, and it went really well. And I hope he keeps that in mind for this game. Now, another thing that I wanted to say, we talk about his numbers not being the same as last season's. Could that maybe be attributed to the fact that he has better players around him now?
Yes, 100%.
That are starting to take these numbers kind of away from him, that he doesn't have to be the guy doing things?
Yeah, that's my biggest thing about Almada. And folks that have watched the show and listened to the show, I should be pointing this way, not here. People that have watched the show and listened to the show know I've said this in the past. I think that's that's my main issue with Almada. I think he tries to do too much. And it's not that he's not confident in his abilities. I think he tries to take things on himself when he doesn't need to. Like you were just saying, Henry, there are players around him where he doesn't have to be the man. He can just not take it easy in a negative fashion, but he can rely on more of those players. And I think as he does that, and maybe Chicago was the sign of a more confident Thiago Almada that we're more used to seeing, I think as he does that, he can relax and let the game come to him rather than try to make things happen. And if he can do that, he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine. Maybe he doesn't have the production like you were just talking about, the production that he had last year, but he can affect the match in more manners that don't show up on the score sheet or don't show up in the stat line. Those technical things that you see from players that are regarded as highly or valued as highly internationally. So that's something that I'll look for tonight and then moving forward.
And either way, Almada is always going to be kind of a player magnet, right? Because everyone knows how dangerous he can be if you give him an inch of space and you let him shoot or you let him cook, man. He's going to cook you. So
Chef Almada.
Exactly. And so that's the thing. They know that they can't let him have space. And so you're going to have more defenders coming at him, trying to close his space down. And that's going to open space for his teammates to ultimately, you have Mayumba, you have Slish, you have Saba, you have these players that can do things when the pressure is taken off of them because they're so worried about, I got to cover Almada. Yeah. I got to cover this guy. So it's it helps you in your build-up. It helps you be more efficient going forward. And I think Almada is kind of realizing now that he has legitimate options to pass it to. You don't have a Rossetto that, is probably just going to pass the ball back to you or to the defender or something. Yeah. You have players in Slish and Mayumba who aren't afraid to go forward and actually, create danger, right? That can go with you.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, again, going back to the whole Almada situation and how maybe he's not going to show up numerically as much, you got to think about the fact that he will drop back fairly deep for number 10, but he will win the ball. He's not going to win aerial duels against a lot of tall guys, but he's smart. He plays very intelligently. And so he'll win the ball. Two times in the Chicago match, he just by his soccer IQ and his positioning and everything else was able to win the ball over guys that are much, much taller than him. And, when you're receiving the ball at midfield, literally in the center circle, and you're trying to turn and play, you're probably going to hit 2, maybe 3 other passes before a potential goal. And you don't get the assist for that. But it all starts with him. It all starts with that pass out of the back. And then he receives it and he turns and then he opens up tons of opportunities for whoever's playing up top. So, yeah, it's okay if he's not, maybe the MVP numbers, but you can't look past Thiago Almada no matter what. Yep. And the teams aren't going to. If they do, they're stupid. And, at your own
Better
risk.
for us.
Yeah, at your own risk you do it. But, no, I think he's been growing into this season. And the Chicago match was, I think, a big wake-up call for him in a good way. And I think he continues it on because there's nobody better. Messi who? Yeah. There's nobody better playing in tight spaces than Thiago Almada in MLS.
Right. Yeah. He's been healthy. So
yes.
He's playing on turf too.
Yeah, right? I know there's so many things about Thiago Almada that Messi doesn't have.
He doesn't eat weird pizza.
Right? Exactly. Right? I don't have to call weird pizza places in Miami at 10:30 at night to ask if they just delivered a pizza to Lionel Messi.
Yeah. So we're about 20 minutes till kickoff. I don't know if we have anything to add or any closing thoughts before we get started. By the way, if you're in the neighborhood, if you're watching this right now, if you're in driving distance, come out to the SF4 Signia by Hilton, right across the street from Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Join us for watch party. We'll be watching the match here, hanging out get a chance to hang out with Tyler, Henry, myself. And come on out. Open invite.
So I've got a quick question. Well, all right, 2-0.
1-1.
Boo. Get out. Go. Get out. For the U.S. soccer fans that were here or maybe that are going to be going to the next match, are y'all going to Columbus? No. Are y'all all right. I know the answer is going to be U.S., so I'll just ask, what's the score going to be? U.S. and Canada.
2-0?
2-0. I like it.
3-0.
I like it. All right.
Okay.
What do you say in this table?
Another one.
2-0. There we go.
I like it.
A lot of 2-0 out here.
I like it. I like it. This is good.
What is 2-0 in French, though?
You're asking the wrong person.
2-0. I took 3 years of high school French.
Oh, is that it?
Did you really? Well, that's right. You already knew Spanish. You got.
I don't want to make it easy on myself.
All right, Mr. I'm going to step above everybody. Henry Higuita.
Yeah. Call me Henry.
Wow. Henry Higuita. All right. So we've got a few minutes before kickoff. We'll wrap it up. We may do something again at halftime, but for those watching on the stream, if you're nearby, come up here.
Come on out.
There's no tickets. Come up here, have a drink with us, chill out. We're going to watch the Atlanta game. And there are enough TVs in this place to play every match playing in MLS tonight.
Take me out to the ball game, y'all.
Play ball.
We will see y'all maybe at halftime, and y'all come on up here and join us.
So long, everyone.
Bye, y'all.